guys are so pretty. So pretty.
Wait, can
Hello,
we kill
everybody.
the pose?
You can kill it. You can kill it.
Okay.
I'm not killing this pose.
Hold it. You have to hold it the entire
Forever.
The rest of the episode.
Yeah.
I gotta. I'll do a Rohan. My favorite is.
No, it's so
Is that like
so
also
weird one.
Skype is freaking out again. Hello, everybody.
No.
Welcome to MangaPod. We're going to dive right in to make sure this just happens. Hello, everybody, and welcome to MangaPod. We are a weekly podcast in which we all get together after we read all or part of a manga, and then we discuss in lots of others. I am Erin of HappiLeeErin, your host, and with me are my three lovely co-hosts, as well as a very special guest. Hello, everybody. How are you doing?
Hi, I think our special guest should introduce himself first.
Yeah, you should.
Hi there, I'm Octopimp, aka the real Octopimp on Twitter. I love Jojo's, and I'm super happy that I get to be on this manga pod because it's one of my favorite manga series of all time, if not my absolute favorite manga series of all time. And I'm super happy that I get to share it with all of you, friendly viewers, and all my lovely manga pod friends. Yay!
Yay!
We're so happy to have you.
Welcome back.
You are.
Well, welcome back. Yeah, I was gonna say you're our most frequent guest.
Pretty
all
much
right.
we're here with our co-host because he's pretty
Hey,
much
stop it!
That cannot show you.
Wait, is everybody glitching for everybody else, or was that just me?
Everything just happened at once.
Yeah.
And now there's
Waiting
I hear
for the
sirens.
dogs to leave.
The internet police are coming to take us away.
Yes.
Well, hi, I'm Dodger. Press hard to continue and dexterity bonus, and I am delighted to be here. I was going to strike the Dio pose that goes something like this, but I was concerned. I was concerned that my neck would suffer for it, so I decided against it.
You have to watch your muscles on MangaPod. You've been known to injure yourself.
Should
Yeah.
we say what pose we're doing? What pose that we did at the
Oh
beginning?
yeah, you should.
Yeah,
Ellen
I was
does.
doing.
Oh,
Oh yeah, I was doing Killer Queen from Part 4. Does that?
I was
That's quite
just
a bit ahead.
doing this because it was funny.
I googled
I got real
joke
technical.
poses, and I
Yeah.
was just like, "Hey, that's a cool one."
You just
It's Dio. It's not even a pose. It's just Dio putting his head back together. Spoiler. Is that a spoiler? That's a spoiler.
yeah, good job, Yoku.
Fantastic.
Perfect.
Nah, you did great.
Hi, I'm Zappelli. What's up, y'all? How's it going?
You are Zappelli.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, that is another thing. If you guys are confused about why there are pictures of JoJo's characters underneath all of everybody except for me, that is because XSplit has still been doing some problems with screen regions. We've still been having some issues with that, and so we are just doing a single screen region of our entire Skype thing, and then to cover up everybody's username, we picked some lovely characters from the manga to cover up their names. They're all
Yay.
fantastic. Yes.
Yay.
So, Dazza, do you want to introduce yourself real quick?
I'm apparently a girl today. I'm always a girl.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's always like Mamoy, what's her face from this
Elena?
manga, and Elena, that one. She's cool.
Arena?
She's cool.
Arena?
Arena?
I like to
I
say
don't know.
I like to say Aaron. My name.
Got it.
I'll just call it Erin.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right.
She turns into a Titan. What can we say? What can we do?
Spoilers! Guys! Guys!
Shit, we just can't.
We just can't win. This is
Oh my
it,
God,
man.
by the
We're
way,
hitting
give
all the
me-
points today.
Did you give me Speedwagon withdraws Cooley?
I did.
You're like my best friend.
It's what I knew you would want.
Speedwagon skedaddles serenely.
By the way, this is 50th episode. This is 50th
It
episode.
is!
Yay!
Holy shit.
It wasn't Kiss X Sis. We tricked you.
Yeah.
Damn it!
I'm kind of sad
50.
that it wasn't in the end, but
I know.
what you gonna do?
We're so bad with numbers. We've been wrong with the 50th episode like 3 times. It's crazy.
Hey, now look, we're a manga pod. we talk about manga. We don't talk
We're
about
not
maths.
numbers pod. This is
Numbers
not
does
a
not
numbers
come into
pod.
it.
You know, math has
Yeah.
like been for us since like MangaPod 10, something like that.
See,
Yeah.
the only time we have numbers is chapters, and even then they're a bit.
Even then, half the time we get it wrong.
Even then, yeah, we're all like, we ended on 37, right? No.
No!
Yeah.
Oh!
Well, no, it's fine.
There's a
That one-
50% chance this is probably not episode 50, though. That's probably.
It got real bad for Berserk because everybody was like, we all read the right chapters, right? And everybody was like, I think so.
Well, that was because Berserk, the way like the manga readers and like all the different websites are set up all differently.
Completely differently, yeah.
Yeah. And I had to like text, I texted Alex, both of you, where I was like, what was the last page that you finished on? Was this one? Okay, good. That's good.
Yeah, okay.
Awesome. Okay.
Uh-huh.
If you've never joined us for a manga pod before, I just want to get into what we do. We will give you a spoiler-free description, aka a summary of the manga that we read, and then we will give you our spoiler-free recommendations, whether we think you should go manga or not, so that if you do not want to be and it sounds interesting to you, then you can go and skedaddle away serenely, and then come back and watch the manga pod after you have read it. We'll give you a 5-second countdown before we start talking about spoilers. And yeah, so that's what's gonna happen. So, lovely. Oh, let me tell you what we read this week.
If you couldn't guess,
In case you haven't figured it out.
We read JoJo's Bizarre Adventure volumes 1 through 4 chapters, or 1 through 5, chapters 1 through 44.
Mm-hmm.
All of part
Woo!
1
All part 1 of Phantom Blood.
of Phantom Blood.
Yep. Do
Yeah.
you want me to read the description?
Yeah.
Okay. Jonathan Joestar, a young, wealthy son living in Victorian England, has his life destroyed by a recently orphaned Dio Brando, who is taken in by Jonathan's father. Dio, who plots to drive Jonathan to insanity and inherit the Joestar fortune, becomes an unstoppable vampire that Jonathan must fight.
Boom, boom, boom.
Dong.
That's kind
Same as-
of scary. Well, I guess not. I guess, like, what can you do, right?
Yeah. I mean, that's in the description.
You gotta hook him some way. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's got to be something.
Still a bit short.
Something to do this.
They might as well just put the description as fucking Dio.
Fucking
Yeah, Dio's a dick.
And Dio.
There's this dude named Dio. He's a dick. That's
There's-
Spoiler alert.
manga.
There's a post.
Oh my god.
Spoiler.
There's a post
Oh.
under the JoJo's tag that's just a summary of every part, and the summary of part 1 is just a picture, a panel of Jonathan going Dio, and I'm like, yeah, that's basically part 1.
That is.
That's
It's
all
true.
of
Did it.
Yeah, you've read part 1 at that point.
Just a really quick chat to let you know that even though we've kind of broken this rule already, we only read part 1, so we are very hard on spoilers. We really appreciate people not spoiling things for us, and if you even tease a spoiler or say any sort of a thing, then you will be banned because YouTube does not have a timeout button. You will just be gone. You won't ever be able to watch a manga pod again, or at least comment.
It would be really sad, guys.
Oh,
Strike,
glitch.
you're out forever. Like, crazy.
Oh.
you will miss Glitchy Yoku. I mean, what more could you want?
Yeah.
That's all I want in life, really. That's
I
not
miss
anything.
being here.
Glitchy Yoku and incest, because that's apparently all we talk about.
That's all we do here.
Yikes!
Manga
Six
pod,
Yikes.
Lichioku and incest.
It's not really incest. They were a half brother and half. Oh, what am I saying?
No, they
Let's
were
move on.
They were step siblings. Come on.
Come on.
Come on.
Come on!
That would give our spoiler-free recommendation.
Yeah. I can go first. I highly recommend reading JoJo's, especially if you are looking for something that is just incredibly weird and knows that it's weird and owns that it's weird.
Did you
And
say it's bizarre?
I would say it's bizarre. I was trying to avoid saying that, but I really wanted to. But
You can't avoid
Would
it.
you say that it's an
It's
adventure,
an adventure.
as well.
And
A bizarre adventure.
ah!
Good job,
Ah!
Yoko. Hey, you got it.
Connection.
Good job, team.
Gold
It
star
took-
for Yoku.
It took all of us to get that fully. Bring that fully.
Teamwork.
The art is a little bit rough starting out because it is older, but it is, even though it's a little bit rough, it is very definitive, and it's just all around a very fun manga that it's really enjoyable. I found it very enjoyable, and it's a classic. It's well loved by a lot of people, and I do recommend going and taking time to read it. I liked it a lot.
I can go next. I agree. I will say that unless you want to read a very specific type of manga, when you read JoJo's, you might be like, "What the fuck is this?" You know. But that's kind. I mean, like that's what JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is a what the fuck extravaganza. Mm-hmm. So if you're willing to embrace that, and it is true that the beginning chapters, the art is real jank. It's like real jank ball, but man, you will look back on those days when it was that grounded in reality and go, wow.
It's true.
I recommend it.
I would like to add to what Dodger said and say that if you kind of have to be in the mood for JoJo as well. I came into JoJo not knowing a thing about it. Literally nothing. And I'm probably the only one here that has read it for the first time, watched it for the first time, blah, 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 blah. And I really wasn't in the mindset for it. So you have to be kind of in the mood for it. I think that's just what I'm, yep.
I agree with
That's
that.
fair.
It's just over the top as hell. Shonen, the big guys fighting and like just screaming like I won't let you win. I'll defeat you. Like it's awesome. Check it out. If you like that kind of stuff, like if you're a fan of recent shonen, especially if you like One Piece, Naruto, and all that stuff, then this is it. Or like Dragon Ball Z, especially. Like you can see like the connections. This is a battle shonen, but with some pretty crazy stuff and more. I guess it's more as well graphic compared to some of the other shonens as well. So that's actually kind of cool if you like a little bit more blood. So.
Yeah, I think if I had read the manga without having seen the anime, I'm not sure what I would have thought of it. I think it's really good to watch the anime because the manga does feel old. It's just a fact. Because it is old. It's older than
87.
me. It's
87.
really old. 86, right?
86. December 2nd, 1986 was.
I was negative one.
Yeah,
That's
it's So, what is there to say about Phantom Blood that hasn't already been said? Phantom Blood does start off really rough, and you have to kind of go in knowing that. You have to go into part one knowing like, all right, he was, he gotten fresh off of finishing Bao, and he is writing something completely new, and not because his first manga Bao was science fiction, and this is fantasy. So, he comes in like to doing this one, and it's like totally different, and you went to and you're just like, what is happening? Like you will get a lot. You'll just be like, what is going on? Like it just went from like 1 to 12 in like a panel, and it's just great. Like if you love over the top, super extreme manga, then this is it. This is the one that paved the way for all those other ones. Like this Fist of the North Star, like it's Barahala. It's like there's baras everywhere, and it's great, and it's awesome, and they're all just really. I love it. I cannot recommend this manga enough. It's super awesome.
Yeah, over the top, muscular guy crying.
Yeah,
Yes. Crying.
The manliest thing
There's
in the
lots
world.
of guy tears in this.
Crying.
A lot of that.
The manliest
Beautiful.
thing in the world.
The manliest tears.
I cry when I see it.
The gentlemanliest tears. Such a gentleman.
It's true. It's true. Forever the gentleman.
Okay.
If I can bring up a point about it, if I can kind of start the ball rolling, if that's okay.
Oh wait, is this like?
Wait,
are we in
spoiler
spoiler section?
Do we need to?
Oh no. Oh yeah. Are we?
We can
Let's
hop
go
out.
into it.
Let's go. Okay.
Are we ready? Are we ready?
Yeah.
Yeah. Spoilers.
Okay, get out of
JoJo
here.
is gone.
Yeah. begins.
Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it.
Okay,
No,
okay.
Dazzle, do it. No. Dazzle, do it.
Dio is God.
I need to.
Fine, I'll do it. Dio is
No!
God.
He did do it! He did do it, but everybody
just
was
lagged
over
out.
talking. He lagged out when he
You
did it.
lagged out. You lagged out. You lost.
You lagged-
Dazzle will never win. He never gets it.
Because I live in Australia, I can't help it.
He's like,
Oh, now I feel bad.
I was like, wait, what's happening?
he thought he had
You
it.
were so adamant, though. You were like,
He thought he grasped it. Oh,
I was right there and I said it and I got no response.
Aw.
amazing.
oh my god, it was so funny. Yes, spoilers! Alex, hit the spoilers.
Spoilers. Okay, so Phantom Blood more so than any other, and I'm not going to spoil any of the other parts. I'm going to only mention them as reference for Phantom Blood. Phantom Blood is super grotesque. There's not a lot of that in the other parts. It's almost a horror manga because it's so graphic. Like the scene where after Dio turns into the vampire and comes down and like swipes the guy's head off, and it's just one giant panel. It's like of his head like coming apart. There's a lot of that in Phantom Blood, and that really like isn't prevalent or a focus in a lot of the other parts. It's super strange, but really interesting to just kind of see that like it's this weird fantasy slash like horror story. It's really great. Like in context of the rest of the plot, it's quite interesting.
It really actually reminded me of Berserk, the start of it.
Mhm.
Oh yeah,
Mhm.
I can see that.
A lot of the like you said, grotesqueness and using the artifacts, and not really the style because they've got completely different styles,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
just the way it's kind of set itself out. I think.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I was so sad to experience the beginning of this story again because
Oh,
of
yeah.
Danny. I was
Oh,
like,
yeah.
the second
And it
I
was
saw
even
Danny, I was like,
more-
you're gonna get burned alive, and I'm gonna
He
have to deal
literally
with
got
that
burned.
all over again. It was
not like-
Oh, man.
sad shit in the
and
world.
even it was more grotesque in the manga than it was in the anime.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Everything
Like,
was
wait,
more
in
grotesque
the
in the manga.
anime, they're just like, oh, what's that? And like they hear him howl, right? That's what happened. It was just like you heard him, but in this, he fucking jumps out and is on fire.
Is on
Yeah.
fire.
And you
I was
see
like,
him melt. Ugh.
I remember when we watched the anime, I mentioned that, and I was like, that this scene is so much more intense in the manga. Like, well, they can't show that kind of thing. Like, I just don't think they're allowed to show that, like on like a TV anime. Like, they can't show a
No.
dog on fire, like crying. You know, it's like they can't do it.
They probably were used to like back in the 80s, but nowadays probably not.
No, definitely not. I mean, and like that's the other thing is, I commented on the anime that they were editing out a lot of the violence. Like you now see how bad it gets. Like it gets real bad. Or like when Jack the Ripper is hiding inside the horse and their
Yeah.
heads come off and like he like bursts out of the horse. It's just like it's so intense. It's like really violent.
Just
Yeah,
so
it didn't-
funny.
it made me laugp in the anime. It did not make me laugh in the manga. It was
No.
just like gross. But in the anime, it was like, you ride a fucking horse? What's happening in this anime right now?
What I love about JoJo's is they're like shocked, but not in the fact that like, how the fuck did that happen? They're just like, oh my god, it happened. Like,
This is happening.
was hiding
We
in the
need to react
horse.
to this very real situation.
yeah, like they can accept it as reality. They're just shocked that it's happening. And I'm like,
Yeah.
constantly-
Speedwagon's reactions are the best though.
Oh,
Alright.
Speedwagon's fucking narrating.
Speedwagon is
He
the
was hiding in the horse the
worst.
whole time.
No,
Like,
okay. Speedwagon is the Krillin of JoJo's because he's around. He's just a regular ass dude. He's kind of strong at the beginning. He's like, I'm gonna toss my razor blade hat at you, and then he like has this one fight. JoJo kicks him in the stomach, and then he's just around for the rest of the entire part. He just hangs around.
Yeah.
The interfering Speedwagon. He just
he's
shows
a
up, and
fangirl
he's
the rest
like,
of the part.
he's
He
supposed to
is.
be. I think he's supposed to be us because he's like, whoa, look at it's a crazy thing that's happened. What will JoJo do next? Because literally they didn't want those text boxes, being like, what's Jojo gonna do next? That kind of thing. So they just have Speedwagon there to say it, and I think that's why
Speedwagon is
he's
just a
around.
text box. That's on the level.
Speedwagon is a text box.
Speedwagon,
Yeah,
the
because,
precious
like,
baby.
He really does feel like he has this weird emotional switch where, like, you first see him and you're like, oh no, gangster in that area that Jojo was told not to go in, and he's got all these thugs and they're all crazy. He's got a crazy razor blade hat. Whoa! And then, like, almost immediately after that, every panel we see Speedwagon in, he's going like this.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just like,
that
oh
was
no!
very frustrating.
Oh!
It was literally one hit. And that's
Yeah.
worse than
Oh my
fucking Dragon Ball Z, where at least they had like a few panel fights before they turn into a friend.
Right.
It was, but it's so funny where he's like, all this big talk, just smack talk, all of it, and he gets punched once, and he's like, what is this power?
I, Speedwagon, will take you to the man!
And he's just like, oh my gosh, he's actually such a gentleman because he didn't hit as hard as he could have. I'm just like,
Yeah, just immediate change of heart. There was no pause in between that.
Jonathan.
Yeah, but I still like Speedwagon though. He's a charm character. He's there.
yeah, he's
like
very
we're
charming.
used to him being there as well. Like I've read JoJo's a couple times this first part, and I've seen the anime. So like it wouldn't be the same without Speedwagon. Like,
Oh no, I
he's
cannot
charming.
imagine a JoJo's without Speedwagon.
Yeah, it's
I also-
true. I mean, oh yeah, go ahead.
No, go for it.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I was gonna say when he's looking in on Irina and Jonathan, the only reason he's there is to literally explain to us what is going on. That is his entire purpose in that scene.
There is a woman. She has been there for a very long time. I can tell because she has the bruises on her fingertips. Oh, it appears that they know one another. Oh my goodness, this has turned quite romantic. I shall withdraw coolly.
Like if somebody was confused by that scene, like Speedwagon just like set everything
Yeah.
straight.
Oh.
The funny thing is with the ship though, when he appeared at the end with the ship, like he was like, "Where are you, Jojo? Where are you?" But then when Jojo actually appears, he just stands there looking at him. He like shuts up.
Oh my god. There's.
Oh, there he is.
Because that's exactly what we
right.
were. We were like, "Oh, where is he? We haven't seen Jojo. Where's Jojo?" And then when Jojo appears, you're as a reader like, "Oh, okay, there he is."
You're like,
It's kind of
okay,
funny.
Speedwagon found him. I found him.
What were you gonna say,
We are
Gaza?
Speedwagon.
I don't know, I just like Speedwagon. He's cool.
I love Speedwagon.
I think, to be fair, I think he's got the best name in the entire thing.
Oh yeah.
True.
Robert
Come on.
Edward.
Is that what his
Speedwagon.
name?
Tom Petty is pretty good though.
That's true. Tom Petty.
But he's not
Speedwagon. Speedwagon's like a wagon on speed.
Well, Speedwagon
Like,
is the most obvious musical reference.
Wait, is that
out
his
of all
first
of the
name or is
ones
that
we've
like his full
experienced.
name?
No,
That is his
Ario
name?
is.
His full
Oh,
name
yeah,
is Robert Edward O.
Robert
Speedwagon.
Edward
We
O.
never know what the O stands for. Nobody ever says.
Speedwagon.
It's a band.
Ario
It's a band.
So that's his family name, Speedwagon.
See,
Like,
I didn't grow up in the 50s, so I don't know.
I don't think Ario
There's
Speedwagon
more than one
is from the 50s.
there's more than one Speedwagons then if that's his family name.
Yeah, I mean, there's
Family
Mama
Speedwagon.
Speedwagon,
You're
there's
re-
Papa
You're
Speedwagon.
really good about
There's
this.
baby Speedwagons.
Did
There's-
Speedwagon have parents whose last
Speedwagon
names were
Oni-chan.
also Speedwagon?
Speedwagon Nichon.
There are lots of characters. Alex was explaining this to us when we were watching the anime. There are so many characters where the name is in reference to a band or a person
Oh, yeah,
from
yeah,
a band,
right.
and ever since then, while we were watching, we're like, oh, like
Yep.
so good.
Like-
Sometimes they're not that obvious. Like
Yeah,
Zappelli.
Fire-
Yeah, I didn't realize.
Yeah.
It took a bit.
Fun fact, actually, last night there was a question to Manga UK, and they asked if JoJo will ever be dubbed, and they said that because of the musical references, it probably won't be because it would be held to license.
Yep, it's true.
That makes
They
sense.
changed all the names in All Star Battle that could be conceived as like copyright infringement. So
Yep.
like Crazy Diamond is changed to Shining Diamond, and my favorite is Killer Queen got changed to Deadly Queen, which is kind of a running joke between me and my friend Hanyan. And she, yeah, so they had to change all the names, and like there's a King Crimson and all that kind of stuff, and so they had to change all of. I don't know what they're doing. If they change Speedwagon's name and All Star, I will cry. I will cry tears. Real tears, actual tears will come out of my face.
What could they change him to the like fast wagon? Like shit. Like no.
Fast.
Wagon speed.
Fast
Wagon speed.
Ariel fast.
Ariel.
Ariel Fast Wagon. I see.
Real fast wagon.
I see what you did there.
Just call him Wagon Tail.
Wagon.
Can we talk about a logistical issue with the vampires, please?
Yes, we
Sure.
can.
What's up?
Why do they
They don't
have
stop.
fangs when they suck blood with either their hair or fingers inside the neck every time?
For the aesthetics.
Well, that
Because
big guy uses
Jojo-
fangs as a weapon. He like broke his teeth and shot it at Jojo. So I guess.
Well, because
That's
Because
true.
Jojo. Just because Jojo. Just Jojo.
the masks have fangs, so they've got to have fangs too. That's just how it works.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Okay.
And then they're just like, oh yeah, oh man, the scene when he's like, I've got your artery around my finger, and he's just like yanking his artery out of his neck. I was like, stop it, stop.
He was like playing with
Weird,
it, like,
so
ooh, it's so warm. Ooh.
One-
Oh God.
like there's it's so freaky, like all the weird like body horror stuff he does. One that is kind of overlooked but actually freaks me out a lot is when he converts the dude when Dio converts the dude with the stone mask the first time in the streets when he's being mugged, and the guy punches at him and Dio holds up the knife and it like cuts his it like goes into his webbing and like cuts his hand in half.
Ah,
That just is like like I hate seeing that because it's like a floppy gross bloody hand, and it's like, Araki, you didn't need to show that. Like you could have just had him like punch
No,
at
you
him
did.
and miss.
I'm
No,
glad
you
you
did.
did.
Yeah, thanks, Araki. Thank you, Araki.
It's like an extreme paper cut. And it's just like.
Oh,
It's like we've all had those
I went too far.
We've all had those paper cuts that are just like on the web, and you're like, "Fuck, that hurt so badly." But then you just no, too much.
too much. It got too real. It got.
I feel like Dio suffers a lot from 80s
Oh no.
villain syndrome, which is he's just evil for the sake of being evil. Like he's just a bad dude. He's like, life sucks, so I hate everything now. And it's like, all right, cool, I guess.
wait.
You know,
Okay.
like, I mean, he obviously, yeah.
Can you repeat that?
Sorry,
All I'm
what?
hearing is I just was hearing glitchy. Was he okay
Oh,
for
sorry.
everybody else?
No, but
No.
I was listening
I-
long enough to see.
I
if
got
could fix
most
Oh,
of
okay.
it.
Okay.
How's this now? Am I better?
Yeah, you're good.
Better now?
I think.
Okay.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I was just saying that Dio suffers a lot from 80s villain syndrome, which is just like he's just like evil for the sake of being evil. He's just like I'm a bad guy, and just like you're just rotten to the core, Dio, because that's just the way some people are. And it's like, okay, I guess, you know what I mean?
Yeah, his
Yeah.
motive is so flimsy. It is so flimsy.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and I mean,
Can
huh.
I just say that was probably my biggest problem with Jojo, because I really like character backstories and characters that have lots of depth, and that's something that Jojo really doesn't have a lot of. It's just battles and that, you know, like Dio was very much the whole, oh, my dad was mean to me, so I'm going to destroy humanity. You know, and then Joe's just like, "Oh, I'm a good guy because I'm good."
Well, he
but they don't
decided
show-
to destroy humanity when he got the mask. He wanted not destroy, like take over humanity, because
Yeah,
like we
but-
saw what
but
the
still, there
mask
was
did. No, we
there
saw
was
what
no
the mask
depth.
did, though. Come on, like remember when the first time the mask was found by Zappelli and the crew of that ship, and his father Puran, he just like went completely ballistic. He didn't stay himself, but Dio absorbed that power while still like remaining like still keeping his consciousness. So I guess that's a little bit his backstory.
Yeah, but
he
Dio
doesn't really
was
need
a dick
backstory.
before then, though. Dio
He was a
like
dick, but
wanker.
he didn't want to like destroy humanity or something.
Okay.
So.
He burnt a dog alive. Come on.
Yeah, he was a dick.
That-
I ain't arguing with that, man. He was a
That's
piece
not
of
a
shit,
dick move.
but-
That's like full on asshole.
Nah, he's a piece of
wanker
shit.
face.
Like
I understand what you're saying though, Dazzle. It's like you expect to get this moment with Dio, like any sort of a moment where there's a change in his desires and what he wants, and you just see this flicker of like doubt, and you never ever get it. And like in some ways I love that he's just like, yeah, what? I'm evil. And now I'm a vampire, so I'm super mega evil. And it's like, okay. But like at the same time, when I was watching the anime and when I was reading it, I was like waiting for that moment, that like flicker, and it doesn't happen ever, which I understand seeing that as less interesting.
I think what it needed was a bit more story at the start, because it just basically went from, oh, they're kids, his father's died, oh, I'm a dick, oh, I've got the mask, until giant fights, until the rest of the manga. You know, it was like one or two introductions and maybe a little bit of other story. You know, I just wanted that little bit more grounded character so that we like knew the relationship. You know, like I really liked when Dio and Jojo were at the university playing the rugby game. That was really cool. I thought we need some more of that, you know, kind of feel the betrayal and make it a bit more impactful.
I think there was a lot, like, basically, like, everything, when it came to not the fights, like, everything in between the fights was pretty rushed, like, in terms of, like, any chemistry, any character, anything was hella rushed. Like, they went from Dio, like, with the flames to Zappelli, and then Jojo learning the ripple. Like, that was so quick compared to
it was practically non-stop fights for half the series.
Yeah, so like
literally.
If you compare like how long the chapters of like character development like to how long the fights were, like it was all of the anything else was very, very fast. That wasn't a battle too.
Yeah.
I definitely agree with that. But also like without not spoiling anything, since I know what comes down the line, this section feels very weak in comparison.
Yeah.
That is the consensus.
I don't know how to talk about that without like ruining anything. But it's like it's weaker. It's not as fleshed out.
I agree, because I was going into this thinking, oh, this is going to be really good because everyone's talked it up so much. And going into it, I'm just like, this wasn't that great. I didn't enjoy it as much as I thought I was going to, which really sucked because I want to enjoy Jojo. I want to be there to join with part 3 in the new anime, but it's just I don't feel like continuing it, which is really sad.
Yeah, I mean, that is, and you're basically like right there with a lot of JoJo's fans. They all think part 1 is by its nature kind of weak. He really didn't know kind of what he wanted to do with the series, so he wrote this story that's very kind of in its own little ecosystem. Like a lot of the elements of part 1, like, you know, without spoiling too much for the other parts, don't really show up again, and it's just sort of like here they are. Like this, it's just sort of where he was getting his bearings and trying to write this characters, family, and one thing I will say though is even though what is everything okay? Hello?
Oh no, you are all frozen!
I'm only slowing down.
All frozen for me.
Oh my god.
Oh no. Okay, are we okay?
Okay,
Can
you're
I say thing?
Yeah, you can say thing now.
Okay. The one thing I will say is that even Dio's motivations are flimsy and he's not a really fleshed out character, I feel that Jonathan actually does have quite a bit of growth and development over the course of the series, over the course of this part, because Dio serves two purposes in part 1. One is to be the villain, and one is to change, to spur change in Jonathan. Mm-hmm. And so he shows, because Jonathan is like he's not like a spoiled brat, but he's kind of a weenie at the beginning of.
He's hella weenie.
Yeah. He's kind of a weenie at the beginning of the part. And like Dio shows up and he's like, listen, if you don't, I mean, he doesn't say this, but like the character basically shows up and is like, all right, Jonathan, look, if you're not going to like toughen up and like learn something that everyone likes you, then and he says it. He's like, if I let Dio beat me now, I'll forever be living in his shadow. I think that's the exact quote that he says. And that's like the big turning point in Jonathan. And I think there is a lot of growth in Jonathan's character. Because he says, like, if I don't stand up to Dio, then that's it. I'm never going to be able to stand up. So I think Dio is kind of there to facilitate that in Jonathan. And other than that, he's just sort of secondary to him. So he is very flimsy, but at the same time, there is some character growth there for Jonathan too, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
That's me. I don't know.
What were your guys' thoughts on Zeppeli?
Oh,
I love Zeppeli.
Zeppeli.
He's got sick outfits. He's the mentor character we all needed, but didn't deserve. It was good.
We love teaching him the way of the ripple.
Ripple.
Zeppeli, the dead Italian wizard, rest in peace. I actually quite like Zeppeli a lot. He's kind of silly. He's like both, like at the start when you meet him, I wish he would have remained silly because he gets really serious.
Yeah.
Like because like when you see him, he's like eating the sandwich, or like when he beats Jack the Ripper with the wine. Like he's just like over the top, like super foppish, and like towards the end when they're fighting Bruford and what's the other knight's name?
And T-Guy?
Tarkus.
Bruford and T-Guy.
Bruford and T-Guy. When they're fighting Bford and T-Guy, he like they kind of become a little more. He kind of becomes like a little more serious, which makes sense. But like, I wish that would have.
He dies during that fight as well.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, he dies when they're in the chain room. But I wish that.
Okay, we'll get to that.
Oh, okay.
No, sorry.
Okay. Which, like, I don't know. They all serious up about that point, which sort of lets you know that it's like serious business. But I just kind of like he's a little bit of the comic relief as well as Speedwagon. Like the secondary characters provide a little bit of comic relief.
My favorite part with Zeppeli is him crossing the river to get to the boy.
Oh my god!
That was the best
And
thing
then
in the world.
Speedwagon's like, I will cross the river as well, and they just
and they're like,
falls
don't,
in, and
you
there's a
can't,
panel,
no,
and it's like,
stop.
Fucking Speedwagon.
I love it in the anime. See that in the anime was so awesome. He's just like a bunny or something. Yeah,
his walk in All-Star Battle is that, and he like walks on his tiptoes when you just walk forward, and he goes ho like that, awesome. And it's really funny. There's also and this is something I want to track down, but it's super hard to find. There's a plush frog that you can get, and when you punch it goes Mimita, and then it says like Orewa Sendora, and then it like says the whole thing that it's just like this is the way of the ripple, ripple energy, and it says it in Zeppeli's voice. It's really awesome.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's super cool.
I was just gonna say that I hated. Okay, I don't know the whole prophecy of Zeppeli's death. Like it was just like it was obvious. It's one of those things. Like obviously the mangaka didn't know exactly what he wanted to do with it, like everything, but it was just such an insert. But like it was just like, oh yes, I am going to die for these reasons, and this is exactly what the prophecy said, and it's literally like line for line, word for word, just that whole same cliche. The mentor will die for his mentee kind of thing. But that part bugged me. I was just like, you can die, but I didn't like the prophecy part of it. It was like
I didn't want.
I didn't need a prophecy. I didn't need a prophecy to tell me he's gonna die.
He already had death flags already.
Why
He's a mentor
didn't he
character.
give Jojo the power though? Like he could have gave it to him without dying. Like damn it. But I guess Jojo needed the push of seeing his mentor die. Maybe that's the.
Oh yeah,
damn
it's classic.
Man.
It's classic motivation, like growth.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm fine with Zeppeli dying. I just didn't want the whole.
Oh, well, but then Zeppeli, if he would give
fate.
it. Well, I mean, if Zeppeli did give the life force, even if like he wasn't cut in half and he gave life force, he still would have turned into an old man and probably died as well. I guess.
Yeah, exactly. Which is why I'm like, I don't care that. I mean, I liked the fact that he died.
Yeah.
Aaron, classic Aaron.
Classic Aaron.
Death is great. whose death wasn't great though, but kind of
Whose?
silly? Dyer's. We were talking about this before.
Oh,
Dyer
pretty.
comes
Yeah.
in for half a chapter and dies in a bed of roses, and all he accomplishes is
Spreads his legs.
Is spitting rose into.
Gets his ass fucking frozen
Oh my
by
That was-
Dio.
Pretty hilarious, though, guys.
It was amazing. It was
How dare you scar my face?
though I-
Dio.
Even though I have healing powers.
Yeah.
It's like, damn.
So good.
It's the principle. It's the principle. You don't touch Dio. Nobody touches Dio.
A mere human.
Yeah. Monkey nandayo, as he would say. But he, yeah, like, I mean, I love when he's talking as just the head. I love when he's talking as just the head, and it's like, all right, you know what? Disbelief suspended at this point. I got nothing. You know what?
That's what suspended your disbelief, not the fucking leaf whatever thing that they use to jump off of the
Oh, the
Not
Hummel
that.
glider? Yeah,
that.
yeah. No, you know what? Hey,
Not
Hummel
the
can do
hair.
anything.
hair muscles, not Jack the Ripper.
The sucking
jumping out
blood.
of the fucking
Not the
roses.
guy
That's
whose
what does
face
it.
is snakes.
Oh, yeah. Face snakes. Remember
Doobie.
that guy?
It's Doobie. That's
Oh
Doobie.
my God.
Dude,
But,
when they were floating around on leaves, I was like, I can't decide if it's a heart or ball sacks. I don't know.
Oh, I
They're
was thinking
kind of
about
the
I was
same
thinking about the
thing.
heart. I think I thought
Just
about
not
the ball
sure.
sack,
I don't know.
we just
though. I thought it was an
it was-
upside down heart.
I thought it was a leaf shape.
Oh, it was a heart. It was definitely.
Oh. I could see
It
it being
wasn't-
a leaf shape. Never once thought that, but I can see that.
Oh yeah, I guess it could be a leaf.
Wait,
I
did
don't
nobody
think
else
so.
think of that? Are you
I
serious?
didn't.
Leaves.
even
It's
think
a
of-
big leaf, right?
Yeah. That's what I thought the joke was.
That didn't even cross my mind, honestly.
I assumed it was supposed to look like a heart, but wound up looking like balls.
It's just love.
Also, a lot of
Uh.
other things, a lot of other things, sort of that remind me of this more of a horror manga, are like the weird shit that Dio does, like when he makes like the half human, or like the animals with the people heads on them. Like
What's up with
he's
that?
just like playing with his power. He's like experimenting with what he can do. Is what I always thought. Is like that's how he figured out how to use all those powers. Is like that time he was spending in the village. He was sort of seeing what his new body could do and like what potential he unlocked.
Yeah.
And so like he just made these weird animals, but they're just around, and it's sort of just like I alluded to, kind of, but it's super weird and creepy.
Well,
That's how Doobie was made, right?
Yeah, he put
Yeah.
the snakes in the dude's face,
Yeah.
and then put a bag
Poor
over
Doobie.
it.
poor Doobie.
Doobie's the
Well, like-
victim of the Phantom Blood.
There was some like when he had it was almost like this random inserts of horror with her baby, and there was like of them. I'll do anything, just spare my baby. And he was like, "You'll do
Oh.
anything if I spare your baby?" And she's like, "Yes, I'll do anything if you spare my baby." And then he's like, "Anything?" And then he changes her into a vampire, and there's just that scene of her eating, and he's like, "You are the one who did the thing to your baby."
I'm sorry,
So
He's
evil.
like, "Why
gosh.
is this necessary?"
I'm sorry, Aaron. Can you just voice Dio forever? Just for the rest of this, anything that Dio says, I want you to say it.
I can do that.
Look, if you ever do with JoJo's what you're doing with Free,
Okay, yeah.
we're here for you.
Here.
Thank you. Actually, I'm gonna my fellow voice actor Antfish is doing that to JoJo's, and it's quite good. So
Oh,
he's
yes.
doing JoJo's abridged, and it's very good. And he makes Speedwagon talk like Pops from regular shows. So he's like, "It is me, the interfering Speedwagon," and it's just really good. Yeah.
That's
Um,
pretty much Speedwagon.
Yeah, that is Speedwagon.
That's
Like in a
Speedwagon.
nutshell.
That is Fast Wagon right
I
there.
say, Jonathan Zappelli, might I join you on your defeat Dio? So yeah, there you go. But yeah, that's JoJo's for you.
Great.
Poco. Let's talk
Poco!
about Poco.
Oh shit, I forgot about that
Can we
guy.
talk how like sad it was when Tarkus just fucking destroyed him the instant he like crawls out of the hole. And then they're like, "No, run, Poco!" And then just Tarkus he's like just on. Oh god, so funny. I love Poco.
Yeah.
It's funny.
Poco's
Did
Poco's
you see
another one
how
of
much
those like.
blood was on him? It was great.
And then like later we see him, he has no blood on him. It's great. Love it.
That is one thing that happens a lot in JoJo's is oh my god, they've gotten the crap kicked out of them in this battle. Like the next chapter, they're like fine. They're like, oh, that was a tough battle, but luckily it wasn't too serious. And it's like
My breath healed all of my wounds.
Yeah, seriously.
I love Speedwagon like holding Poco, and he's like, oh, these ones aren't like that bad actually. Like he explained it like to make us not worry as well. Kind of like, oh, it's not that bad.
Yeah, come on, tough it up. Tough up.
But it's kind of the same as Kenshiro in Fist of the North Star. Like he always like powers up and his shirt rips, and then like next scene we see he has a shirt.
Yeah, he has
It's
a
kinda
shirt
like
on.
one of those
The
things.
exact shirt and the exact. It's just it's a product of the '80s, you know. It's a product. It's a product of the time. So, what's happening?
I love it. It's such a charm.
Yeah.
What is? What is?
Okay, I'm assuming the same thing happened to Aaron. Could not hear the second you started talking. Nothing. Could not hear a thing you were saying. It was just like snippets, and then it was. It's a product. Yeah.
That's exactly what I got. That's
all you can hear.
Okay, great. Yeah.
We get you though. We get you.
We understand. Yeah.
Sorry, it was amazing.
Like Joe Bros.
Oh my god. I was gonna something that about the dialogue that I loved, and this is just another factor of JoJo just knowing it's fucking bizarre and just deciding to keep on being bizarre, is that they say such ridiculous things, but they say them so ridiculously that it makes them that much funnier. And I think my favorite example of that is when he's fighting Bruford, B-Dog, and he's like, B-Dog has his arms behind his back. He's like, what is he going to attack with? Is it going to be his hands? I can't tell. They're behind his back. Or will it be the feet? And then on the next panel, they're like, it was the hair. I wasn't expecting that. And I was like, nobody would fucking expect the hair. And I thought it was amazing.
So good.
It was just so funny. Just the one-liners are so ridiculous.
It's funny how JoJo never like found that weird that he was like fighting him with hair. Like
that's the thing. Like I was saying before, everything is so ridiculous and weird, but they're just shocked by it. They never realize
is he just like so
weird.
naive? Is everybody like super naive that they just like ignore everything? I think Joe.
He's seen hundreds. What were you gonna do?
I think at the point, where he saw Dio turn into the vampire, like after that, he was just like, okay,
anything goes.
There's some weird shit. I don't know what's gonna happen next.
But it wasn't just him attacking with the hair. He was sucking blood with the hair. That doesn't mean it makes even more or less sense.
He was. I like.
Oh,
go ahead,
sorry.
good.
I was also gonna say that my favorite part of that battle is the whole like any lesser man would have tried to swim to the surface, but no, not JoJo. JoJo swims downward, and let's explain why with science.
That was horrible. It was so horrible. Like
Okay.
you can't take
And then he, like,
that wouldn't
he
work.
lifts up a rock, and like a huge bubble comes right in front of his face, and he's like, "All right, I got it." It's like,
There's a lot of like.
Science rules.
Do you guys remember?
Hey, keep in mind, Jonathan did go to college for archaeology, so he is a scientist. Technically,
Is that why he always has like random rocks? Like the one time when his arm got healed, and he's like, "I can even hold this giant rock."
I remember that. I was laughing my ass off because like out of nowhere, there's like this huge rock. Cause there's no other rocks laying like around the street. Except I was like, I couldn't even lift this rock. Like where did you get that rock? Did you carry around a rock in your back pocket or something? Like damn.
He's just rocking it. What can you say?
Yeah, he rocks. With the
Yes.
rocks.
Nah.
So Phantom Blood.
I love Phantom Blood for what it is.
I love Phantom
Yeah,
Blood.
it's a mindless, fun, silly over-the-top horror adventure manga.
Yeah, out of the parts that I've read of Joe, I haven't read all of them. I've read up to like halfway of part 4. This is probably my least favorite, but
That's the best part. Part 4 is the best.
yeah, I need to get around to
Part 4 is
finishing
the
that.
best. Everyone in chat right now.
Part 4 fanboy. But
It is.
it's still it has the charm. It has a charm, and I've read it multiple times just because it's such a fast read as well. It's only like 5 volumes, 44 chapters. That like I've read. This is my 3rd time reading it, and like I enjoy it every time. So
Yeah.
that's my final thoughts. Actually, I
Yeah,
just
I was
threw
like,
out my
wow.
final thoughts.
Just dove into those. We haven't even talked about the ending yet.
Oh shit.
Oh yes. Oh
Yeah,
my
yeah.
god. That ending is actually pretty sad. Even as silly as that manga is, the ending is very sad.
Yeah, they're like, and then they got married. Isn't that great? And they had a baby. Isn't that awesome? And then Dio showed up on the boat and shit went down. And you're like, no.
And then
sounded like the
Dio
start.
killed everyone.
Yeah, it's so sad.
While just being ahead. He was just
And like
ahead.
the
He had
the,
hair
the-
muscles. He had hair
Where
muscles.
did those come from?
I
Damn
don't
it.
know.
yeah,
He's like
all vampires
Spider-Man with
have
those hair
He
muscles.
learned
He's just
from
like
B-Dog. He learned from B-Dog.
Yeah, Beeford.
Beeford.
hair man.
That line that's like when he's holding Dio's head, like after he stabs his head when he's gonna try and take his body, and then like he's just holding it and he's like, this is it, you know, like we're finally here, and then it's like, what, like, Jonathan, answer me, and he's like, he's dead, and it's just like him like dead against the chest or whatever. It's just like, no.
So morbid.
No.
So sad.
And it's like Jonathan Joestar's life faded into obscurity, and it's like, no.
It was
Yeah.
so sudden.
What's gonna happen next? We're not gonna spoil it.
No, we're not.
Find out. Read Battle Tendency and find out.
Yeah.
Read Battle
But I-
Tendency.
Watch the anime.
I've got no
It's
idea.
good.
I
Or
don't
watch
know
the
what
anime, because
Then
actually,
what
that's one thing I wanted to bring up. I wanted to say it for last is the anime is super faithful to the manga. Like, they get a lot of the details, and it's pretty good. Like, if you don't want to read it, which I still recommend you do, you can watch the anime and basically get the picture.
The anime is 9 episodes. Like part 1 is 1 through 9, and part 2 is 10 to 26.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
So
That's really quick for.
you can pretty much watch part
44
1 in like
chapters.
3 hours. In like 3
Yeah,
hours.
it's really
because it's
fa-
action.
really
There's a
fast.
lot of action. So
Yeah. There is a lot of action. And it's just so comical, like just dramatic how all the hits in the anime, like I think that's something like the sound design of the anime really helped add a lot of effect to it, I think, too.
And the visual style too. They keep that with the big like gong sound effects, like with or like the do 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 with the heartbeats and stuff like that. That's really really cool that they kept with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
that.
and roundabout as the ending.
Yeah.
Music of JoJo's is great.
It's really good. Music.
I definitely agree.
Oh,
Yep.
It's real good.
Music is fantastic, especially
For sure.
this one. Yep.
Dazzle, stop it.
I don't know what this. Oh well, crap! I don't know what's going on. I'm just sitting here.
Yeah, I think Dazza and I heard nothing together.
I basically it sounded like something from the Tron soundtrack. It was like,
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
And I was like, okay.
What's happening? I'm falling apart at the sound.
That was so, when you guys were, I don't know if you heard each other, but when you were imitating that, it started glitching. And so it was
know.
you guys going, while actually being, So it was just, it was so,
Double.
oh my god. Okay,
We'll just replicate the effect for you.
you did
It's all
good.
planned.
You did good.
Just really good at it.
It's really good. Let's wrap up and give our final thoughts and ratings unless anybody else has anything else they would like to talk about. Okay.
I like to say that I really like the style of JoJo, and that the drawings were fantastic. I thought, and it felt very 80s, but it also didn't feel dated. If that makes sense.
Saying it. Yeah.
Like what's a good way of saying it? Like you reread something like Dragon Ball Z, right? And it feels like very early 90s, and you get that kind of 90s style. Same with like Sailor Moon, it feels like very 90s shoujo. But with this, it feels like storytelling from the 80s, but the art could be from any generation, honestly.
Yeah, it's held up. I think Phantom Blood is a little weak at the start art wise, but he really gets his bearings when he starts looking less like the older mangas that he was inspired by, and you can see it in the eyes, especially the way he draws eyes and eyebrows changes, and hair changes drastically. Also, Dio starts off as a brunette and then turns into a blonde.
Yeah,
I noticed that.
I noticed that too. It kept going back and forth for a few chapters.
He went Super Saiyan and never went back.
Yep, exactly.
He went Super Saiyan.
Maybe that's just because him turning evil makes his hair browner. I don't know.
It's possible.
But what was I going to say? I was going to say something. I think with lots of manga though, like we've read all through MangaPod, a lot of it has started out very janky. That's why I kind of look over it now. It's kind of like, oh yeah, it's going to be janky at the start because, well, it's a manga. It's the start of a manga series. You know, every manga starts out at least a little bit janky, and it finally hits its stride somewhere. And I think Jojo did it very quickly. It hit its stride very quickly, and it really established its style very quickly. And it kind of works as well because the start they're kids kind of, and then they have like a 7-year time skip, and then the art gets like very good from then on.
After the time skip, it got way better. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like, oh, the art was really bad because it was back in the past, but now it's later.
Yeah.
One thing I always give Araki credit on is his backgrounds are always really strong. His environments that he draws are always really good. Like, I think he draws beautiful environments.
And it was it's very European centric as well, like old Victorian England.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Which isn't very common. You don't really see that very often. So I thought that was an A+ as well.
Yeah, the only part that actually takes place in Japan is part 4. Everything else is everywhere else, and so that's kind of cool. But the fact that this took place like all in England, it like looks very dark and kind of, you know, like that,
overcast
like
as
sort
well.
of 1800s style.
It felt like England. It felt like I was watching one of those
Oh no.
old Sherlock movies.
Everyone?
Hey guys. Hey.
Hey.
Hi.
Hey, Dazzle. Do you
Hey.
want to maybe say that again?
Yeah, say that one more time.
It felt like I was watching like an early Sherlock film, where it was very Victorian England. It was overcast, and you got the feeling of dread kind of as well as Jojo went through the city and went onto Ogre Street, I think it was, and it was like, shit's gonna go down here because it felt like it should.
Yeah.
You know, it wasn't just like, oh, shit's going to go down because I say it's going to go down. Oh, no, it was going to go down because it felt like it was going to go down in the style.
Mm-hmm. Yoki, what were your thoughts on art?
Art? Well,
That seemed to be what we were talking about.
pretty much what you guys all said, like I could agree as well, because it was kind of shit went good pretty quick. But I really like the shadings. Like I pay attention to that quite a bit when it comes to manga, because that adds a lot of emotion to the characters. Like it gives like another layer to the characters, and the shading was done very well.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the moments in this manga was him like just like saying these like one-liners, like very like oh, I'll stop you, and then you see that like shading and seeing Dio like laughing and like his eyes, and it just added another like whole layer to the art. So I definitely enjoyed it.
On top of that, like literally on top of that, they also had the I can't remember what they're called. I watched it in Bakuman. I'm just trying to remember what it's called. But you've got like the over the top. It's got like the all those like those things that come out at you. So when he's like doing one of the punches,
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. When he's doing one of the punches, you got all these
I saw that in Bakuman as well.
Yeah, the scratches.
Screen tones.
Screen
tones. That's what they're called. Screen tones as they're coming out. And
These.
It's music, okay? It's JoJo's. It's all about music. I'm just interpreting it through dance. So when they're coming out, it looks really good, and it felt like it reminded me very much of those scenes where in what's the game called, Ace Attorney, where he's playing Objection and those lines are coming out. It reminded me of that, and that was cool.
And the anime is like that as well.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's one thing that I really want to watch in the anime, but I didn't watch it because we're gonna read it. So
You should definitely.
You should watch it. I think that it makes this whole first part like a lot better
Yeah.
yeah.
and move
Bearable.
faster.
Yeah.
It's not that it was hard to bear. It was just that knowing how much better it gets, I was just like, oh man,
Yeah.
Yeah.
going through all this again, like all of the exposition-y stuff.
Yeah. It was like, oh, why am I not at the next stuff yet?
Yeah.
I'll
I
tell
remember-
you, when we got to the intro of the next Jojo, right? We saw the beginning
No.
of that. No, we didn't.
Did
I
we?
just read an extra chapter. Okay, then never mind.
Yeah.
I got
no,
to a
don't
part
think-
that made me excited. I'm not gonna say
No,
what
44
it
was when it ends.
How
45
dare you be excited, Erin? How dare you?
Listen, my app
No spoils.
kept going.
No spoils.
I'm not gonna spoil. I'm explaining myself. I was just gonna say my app goes on for like another like 80 pages of the next part, and so I was just making sure.
Yeah, but mine does too. I just don't read it.
I stop.
Anyway,
Woo! Final
love
thoughts.
you,
Let's wrap it
Erin.
up.
I'll go first.
okay.
I am going to give this part of JoJo's. I'm going to give it. Gosh, I'm a little torn because just knowing how it gets better and having watched the anime, it's hard to separate this from my anime experience because I think having watched the anime first, it made watching part one more enjoyable or reading part one more enjoyable. So I think I'm going to give it I'm gonna do a 7, maybe a flaccid 7, but a 7 I think is
Yeah.
good enough for it because it definitely it was enjoyable to read. It was a really fun read, and I think for it being JoJo's, I don't know. Like, I thought the exposition and stuff was a little bit slow, but the fight scenes, I had a lot of fun with it. I just think how fun it was and also kind of knowing what's gonna come really helped me. And I think I thought it was a solid start. And I really liked the characters. I liked the characters a lot. And it made me laugh numerous times. That's what I'm gonna give it. Okay, bye.
Yeah, I'd also give it a 7. Because it's like on its own, it's not very strong, but it's a good setup to everything else. So, and just like Erin, like I enjoyed it more because I had seen the anime and I realized that, but it's still, I think a 7 is good. I think I'll give it a 7. I would recommend it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think a 7 is fair.
Yeah.
I'm only saying that because I agree with you. I mean,
Uh-huh.
I think a 7. I think a 7 is a good score for it. I think I'm gonna go with that as well.
yeah.
And I read this part like twice before because I remember like reading like almost the whole thing once and then I kind of fell out of it and then I came back and I read the whole thing and just coming back to it and then I watched the anime and then I read it again. I don't know why I just get stuck in part 1 for a long time. But it was like I guess I said earlier, like it has a special charm for me as well. It's like the start of it all. It does get better later on, but this is like where it began and just how like cheesy it is. It's a cheesy like horror cheesy shonen series you can pretty much say by the manga, and I love it for that and for what it is. So 7 is probably a pretty fair score on my judgment.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dazzler? Or, yeah, Alex, we'll have you go last.
I'll go last since I guess.
Okay. I honestly didn't really enjoy it that much. It was very hard to read through it, and I got very bored at all the fighting. I know people are like, oh my god, it was so funny, but it didn't really appeal to me all that much. Probably just my mood, because like I said at the start, I think that something like JoJo, you really have to be in the mood for it. and I wasn't really in the mood for it.
Yeah.
And I've been trying to watch it, and I felt the same. It's just like I haven't been in the mood for it. I don't know why. I'm trying to like it, but overall, I think maybe a 6 would probably be a good score for it. Maybe some people might think that's a little low, but as you guys say, it probably does get better. I don't know, but based on what I've seen in this one little part, because I've not seen anything else, I wouldn't really read any more. If I was just reading this by myself and being like, oh yeah, okay, then I probably wouldn't read any more of it.
Yeah.
But because you guys are like, oh, it's actually like really, really good, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna try it more. I trust you guys. You guys are good. But for this one part, I think just a 6 is good, and maybe an enjoyment of about a 4. So.
That's fair.
Okay, that's fair.
Okay.
Alex.
I honestly think a 7 is a really accurate score. Like, that was kind of what I thought of before I came on here. I was like, I think 7 for Phantom Blood is pretty good. Like, it's pulpy. It's a pulp manga. You know, it's really just, that's like the best word I can come up with for it. Is it's like got a lot of shock value to it, and it's just sort of like him trying to figure out where he wants to go with this huge overarching. Sorry. To put it in perspective, I have read all 110 volumes of JoJo's that have been released. I am caught up on
High
part 8
five,
JoJo
man.
Leon. Yeah, and like Phantom Blood, not great. In comparison to the rest, it really isn't. I'll give it that. It's fun and it's hard for me to say, like, part 1 serves to make part 3 really good, and that's all I'll say without spoiling anything. You need to read through and know about part 1 in order to really appreciate part 3, and that's kind of, I admire him. I admire the part for that, for being able to support another part and make it that much better. So on its own, not great. In conjunction with everything else, better. So, but on its own, a 7 I think is a pretty accurate score. I think that's good.
Awesome. So 4 7s and a 6. It's pretty good. We all do highly recommend that you go and check out JoJo's, and also to highly recommend that you check out the anime as well.
Watch the anime.
Watch
it.
anime.
It's
It
real
is
good.
fantastic. And part 3 of the anime just started last Friday. This
That's
previous
right. I
Friday.
keep forgetting that.
So you can catch up very quickly. It's a very fast watch because you get really into it, and it's really great.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
yes.
Mhm.
So that is it for our discussion on JoJo's. Let's go ahead and have you guys in chat guess what the next manga we're going to be reading is. As we go to pull it up. Dr. Dazzit, you got it?
Oh, I got it.
Okay.
All right.
I'm so excited. Sorry.
I am so excited. I saw it. I looked at it and I was like, ah!
I
know,
don't
me
even
too.
know what it is. I don't know what it is.
That's okay. All right.
I'm just seeing
Summer.
some of the names, and it's just funny. All right. Thorfinn is son to one of the Vikings' greatest warriors, but when his father is killed in battle by the mercenary leader Askeladd, is that right? Askeladd? He swears his intent to have revenge. Thorfinn joins Askeladd's group in order to challenge him to a duel, and ends up caught in the middle of a war for the crown of England.
Ah!
Can I guess what it is?
Got
Yeah,
it? You guys
Yoki,
got it?
Yoki, you can guess.
Vinland Saga?
Yeah!
I just guessed because it's Vikings or whatever. The
One
whole-
of my favorite ever. Just need you guys before we it's so good. Wait, don't tell me. I'm gonna find out. I'm so excited.
Oh, you're so cute.
That, yeah, I.
What was that? You were just like,
Yeah, and then it came
Don't
back
tell
to
me.
you, and you were just like really?
I've been waiting to read Vinland Saga on MangaPod since we started MangaPod.
Aww,
I'm so excited.
it's so
I am hyped.
good.
I've never read it before, but I know that Dodger and Aaron, you both like it, so.
It's great. It's fantastic. So,
So, how much of it are we reading?
volumes 1 through 4, chapters 1 through 28. That is how much we are reading. So, the chapters are a little bit longer, which is why we're not reading a ton of it, but it is
It's a month
fantastic.
manga.
It's about Vikings, guys. You can't
So good.
you can't
Pretty
not
epic.
want to read a manga about Vikings. It's fantastic. So,
1 through
I
26.
don't like
1 through
Vikings.
28. Why? Do you want to change it? Do we need to change that?
No, that's fine.
Oh, okay.
Just wanted to double check so that I could look and see how far that is.
Dazzle, you don't like Vikings? Is that what you just said?
Yeah, that's just what I said.
Not.
I never appealed to me. I
You
don't
may
know.
love Vikings after Vinland Saga.
Yeah.
That's all. I'll say.
Yeah. You just have to, I mean, don't let
Anyway.
Change your opinion.
Vikings go in there. Yes, so that is what we are reading next week. Let's go ahead and shout out our stuff really quickly, and then we will say bye-bye. Alex, why don't you go ahead and shout out your stuff first, sir, since you are a lovely guest.
Okay, thank you. I am Octopimp, Twitter at The Real Octopimp, YouTube.com/The Real Octopimp. I do dumb anime parodies. Watch them with your eyeballs. Watch them.
Oh, watch him.
There you go. That's me.
Awesome. Great.
Watch them.
You did good. You did good. You did good. Shouting out your stuff. You did good. I am...
Yeah, I did it. Yeah, right.
I didn't think you were gonna respond, so I was just gonna go on. I am your host, Erin of HappiLeeErin. I do anime reviews, anime first impressions. All of the previous manga pods are here, hosted on this channel. I did a spring anime preview of anime I'm most excited to watch, and I'm going to be doing a few of my spring first impressions coming out later this week, which I'm really excited to do. I also do mental health awareness vlogs and such like that, which are really fun. If you'd like to find me on any other social media site, I am HappiLeeErin everywhere, all across the everythings. It's HappiLeeErin. I mostly use Tumblr, Instagram, and Twitter. Those tend to be the ones that I use the most. But everywhere I talk about really stupid things. So come if you want to see me talk about otters and Kuroko and food. I talk about food a lot, so.
Oh, food's good. Food is very good.
So that's me.
I'm Dodger. Press Start to continue, where I do gaming stuff, and Dexterity Bonus, where I do a daily vlog and talk to my cats. And on all of the social medias, I'm Dex Bonus, DEXBONUS.
Beautiful.
That is perfect.
That
All
was-
right, I'm Yokorama Game Talk, where you can find me at Yokorama Game Talk.
Oh,
I'm just Yokorama. I don't talk about games on there, just letting you know.
Damn,
But
that's
my main channel for the past couple of weeks is Yokorama News, and I've been just kind of enjoying this spring season of anime that has just begun, and I've been releasing a ton of videos talking about a bunch of them, and there's still a bunch more to come because there's still a lot that I need to watch that I haven't checked out yet. So if you want to what's good, what's not good,
Uh-huh.
kind of a little
Wait,
I will run
Yoku,
structure.
pause. Oh, we lost.
and
Wait,
social
wait,
media is Yokorama.
Oh, here we go. Hey.
That's perfect.
We lost Brooke right as Yoku was like, and if you want
Yeah, everybody
Back.
froze, and then it just cut.
I
was like,
didn't even get
oh.
that.
Oh, really?
You guys,
It was just.
you guys just check the description.
Yeah, all of our stuff is in the description over there. BT Dumps.
Check it out. Everywhere.
Goat robot.
Goat Robot.
Goat
Robot
Robot.
Pod.
I'm a Dazzler from Flying for Nippon. I do, as everyone else does, apparently, on this podcast, I do anime reviews and talk about anime. Yay!
Yay.
Except Dodger, she's boring and talks about games. We don't like games.
She talks about anime sometimes.
Yeah, when she talks about with her cats, but that's. I do anime reviews. I do what we've watched, weekly show, where we come together and talk about what we've been watching in the past week with a drink. I also do first impressions, as well as other stuff like cover conventions, cosplay stuff, and blah blah. Yeah,
Blah, blah.
blah blah. It's fantastic.
That's my favorite segment of yours. Blah
I
blah.
love your blah, blah.
blah blah segments, guys.
I love your blah blah.
Like,
My favorite.
we could take that somewhere, I think.
We could.
Anyway. You can find me on Twitter at DocDazza. You can find me on Tumblr, DocDazza. You can find me on Hummingbird.Dazza. And yeah, all this stuff is down the links down in the doobly-doo.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
doobly-doo links.
So that is all of our stuff. If you would like more MangaPod, you go ahead and check out our MangaPod subreddit, which is reddit.com/r/MangaPod, where the schedule for all of the upcoming weeks are. And there is also a recommendation thread there for you to go ahead and recommend manga you would like to see us talk about in the future. We are going to be scheduling out the rest of the year here soon, so that will be super fun. So go ahead and get those recommendations in as soon as possible. Once again, next week we are going to be reading Vinland Saga, volumes 1 through 4, chapters 1 through 28. I think it was volumes. You should check the Reddit to double check that. But don't click in the description yet, because that doesn't actually say what we're reading yet. I learned not to do that until afterwards, so you guys could guess. Not be rotten bacon butts. Right.
Right.
Once again, Alex, thank you so much for joining us to talk about JoJo.
Thank you for having
We
me.
loved having you on. Sorry about all of the technical difficulties once again, but that tends to be pretty standard with MangaPod, it would seem. No matter what we do, no matter what happens, we're all gonna be goats. I think we're destined to be goats for the rest of our lives.
We're all destined to be goats.
We're destined to be the goatsies.
Well,
No.
Go simulator.
No, we're not.
no, not
Not true.
not gonna be goatsies.
Not goatsies. No.
Wait, what are goatsies?
I'm not gonna do that.
God,
Good night, everybody.
Wait! You are all fighting! I don't know!
Oh,
Good
no!
night, everybody.
What? Wait, am I supposed to end it? Because I don't know what's happening. I want to know what goatsies
Good
are.
night, everybody.
Okay, fine.
You don't.
No, you don't.
just stop it
No.
now. Stop it
Go,
now,
go,
please.